Hey again, it's Judd, author and illustrator of the book All That Will Burn. This is another episode of Behind the Art, where I'm going to talk about one of the pieces from the book and tell you a little bit more about the lore and the process that went into it. This episode we're going to talk about this piece called Ilucenta Sleeps. Check it out. Okay, here is the piece we're talking about today, entitled Ilucenta Sleeps. So it's a cityscape of the city that Sophia finds when she climbs the cliff away from the beach. It's a very lonely place where some strange things happen to her. Zoom in a little bit, you can see some of the texture. If you watched the episode 1, I talked about the color scheme for different parts of the book. So it's very monochromatic at this stage, just lonely and isolated and that type of thing. In terms of the lore, Ilucenta, spoilers, if you would rather not know, you should read the book first. But Ilucenta was originally a great city positioned on the cliffs where all the Ulma would emerge from the sea and welcome them there. So it was more of a beacon and the main capital. It was destroyed by an unknown force, and now it's an abandoned ruin. But since there's no entropy or erosion or general wear and tear in the Orvita, it stands pretty much as it was, which makes it even more creepy. So for some process stuff, you can see there's a lot of just composition-y sketches. I showed a little bit of this stuff last time. Just lights and darks and that type of thing. This is actually a super old version of a piece from this part of the book before I could even really paint. So it's incredibly crude. A couple years ago when I started figuring out what do I want this to feel like, what's the architecture like, all that kind of stuff. Here's actually some specific sketches to this piece. So originally I was focusing more on this bridge, and none of the street stuff was in there, but the pyramid in the background and that type of stuff. In this, you start to see something that's really starting to define the feel of the world. So more of the pyramids and Central American feel, plus European, Spanish kind of architecture blended together, which gives it a little bit of an interesting look. Here's a larger version of that, which I really like. I really love this little piece. I eventually cut out some of this extraneous detail. Then here's an even larger one of that. I like this a lot. You know, looking back at it, I almost like it more than the one I went with the book. It doesn't have the same scale with the street and everything, but it's cool. I like the feel. Here's one of those black and white sketches that I did. Eventually I cut this stuff out just to simplify it. But yeah, a lot, like I said, a lot of process that goes into this and really focusing on the feel. So this is again the eventual piece, and yeah, hope you like it. See you next time.